It's like my favorite book.
Yeah, cool.
It's so good. And it's basically like, I mean, you would probably know, but it's basically like this circus that rolls into town. No one sees it coming, no one sees it leaving.
Okay.
It just appears.
The fabulous queen of burlesque, Bettie Bang Bang, has created a magical evening of circus, drag and burlesque called Le Carnaval. Featuring both local and interstate artists, this Le Carnaval is going to be extra special as it's the last one that will feature Bettie for a while as she's off to have a baby. Here's the chat that we had with Bettie about tomorrow night's show at Bartholomew's. So, I'd love to start off by asking how you got into performing.
Performing, oh my gosh, I think it was about 15 years ago, and I think I saw Chicago, like an old movie, and I was like, that's the life for me. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. What did you love about it?
I loved I think just the drama, and I loved how big the artists were, the acts, and I guess I really loved the idea of going onto stage and conveying an idea to an audience. It just blew me away, and I was like, I want to do that on stage. How do I do this?
Yeah. And so how have you found like your community? Because I feel like it would be hard to find other people that are doing kind of similar things or are like-minded.
Yeah, it's a bit of a journey. So I started in Sydney. I was living in Sydney for a long time, and the burlesque and cabaret scene down there are wonderful. So once you get into it and you start with your like solo or you're in a troupe, you kind of start to find your people. Sydney's great. Oxford Street is where I started at Slide Bar. Represent because it's closed now. But I remember going on stage and doing my first solo, and there were so many people there, and it was terrifying, but it was also very exciting because people band around you and support you, and then you find if you're more burlesque or cabaret, and it's an amazing environment. So that was Sydney, and then I moved up to Newcastle with my husband 2 years ago, and it's probably the best life decision we've ever made.
Yes.
So nice here. But the scene is really great too because there's such a big drag scene up here, which I love. But also bringing the circus and burlesque and cabaret has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have so many performers, but like we can always have more events going on. So it's really cool to see Le Carnaval coming to Bartholomew's. Yes. Can you tell me about how you picked the lineup?
Oh my gosh, it's a struggle every time because there's so many amazing people, so many skilled artists. So every show is different. Every show has a different lineup. There's always some burlesque, some cabaret, some circus, drag. There's a little bit of spattering of sideshow if I can get it up here because it's a bit difficult to get sometimes.
What's sideshow?
Like sideshow is like fire and like dangerous things. So
we love that.
We love that.
Exciting.
The audience, I love seeing the audience just be like, like everything. I think there's an act called Blockhead where it involves a nail going into the nose and a hammer, and it's just I love watching the audience. It's hilarious. So having like a really good mix of acts that Newcastle wouldn't usually see because a lot of them are from out of town is really great. So tomorrow night we've got, what have we got? We have Demon Derriere, who's this big booty babe from Sydney. She's actually the creator of Big Thick Energy. Big Thick Energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like I've seen that before.
It's a big festival in Sydney. Yeah. Okay. So it's a really amazing event. So she's coming up with 2 acts that are just going to be a riot with the audience. Yep, very awesome. Interactive. We have a number of people like Eli Fury. She's got fire, and I won't spoil it, but it's an act with something very sharp, which is very fun.
Okay.
Rainbow, who's a Newcastle local, she is an award-winning burlesque artist, and she's very amazing at comedic burlesque. And we have some aerial arts in there, Cirque Songstress, who sings live classical vocals while she's in the silks. And it's just, I can't even walk in a straight line. Like it's, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's amazing. It's amazing. And then we have my burlesque troupe. They're a beginner burlesque troupe and their first time on stage. So it's very exciting. And we also have an act from Three Rings Aerial who will probably be doing trapeze. It'll be great.
That's fabulous.
Yes.
And would you say that there's like a theme within the show? Or?
Yeah, I think, have you ever read the book The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern?
I think I started it.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. I'm pretty sure I started it.
Yeah, it's like my favorite book.
Yeah, cool.
It's so good. And it's basically like, I mean, you would probably know, but it's basically like this circus that rolls into town. No one sees it coming, no one sees it leaving.
Okay.
It just appears.
Awesome.
And it's just amazing. And I kind of based it off like a real in-life version of that. So every show has a bit of a cabaret, but it's also really inspired by vintage circus and sideshow. So something you'd think you'd see in the 30s or the 40s at the circus, modernized to today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to be your last show for a while.
Yes.
How does it feel?
Oh, I am happy and sad. Le Carnaval is my baby. I debuted it at Bartholomew's in October of 2022.
Yep.
And the team they're just amazing. They're wonderful people. And they just trusted me to create this beautiful show. But every show it's either almost a sellout or a sellout. And it's just big shows, it's amazing performances, and I'm gonna miss it a lot.
Yeah. Well, look, I can't wait for the show. It sounds like it's selling really well already. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It's been sick.
Thank you so much. And to anyone who's listening, if you want to get in on the events that Bartholomew's is doing, the way to do that is the mailing list. They have so many things that are happening. I'm just going to take the child with me when I come in. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Thank you.